What's up everyone and welcome to Giacs Spot. Today I want to bring you guys a guide on charge blades for people that are new to Monster Hunter World or current hunters that are curious about charge blades. This video will cover some of the basics I learned for this weapon. Now let's jump into it. First, I wanted to talk about what you see on your screen in the top left. When you have this weapon equipped, you'll notice a sword, shield, and Phials underneath your sharpness bar. This will be your guide to whether or not you have the sword or shield powered up and if the Phials are filled up. Right now, as you can see, neither the sword or shield is powered up and the Phials are empty. Next, I wanted to talk about the two weapon modes. There is a sword mode and axe mode with this weapon. In sword mode, you can block with the shield by pressing R2. Axe mode is more powerful and has higher reaching attacks, but in my experience, you'll be spending most of your time in sword mode. For the combos, we have the basic mash triangle combo, but the combo I think people should stick with is a triangle and circle at the same time 3 times. On the third hit, you will do amped element discharge. Please remember we talked about amped element discharge because this move will lead into you charging up your shield. A quick way to do amped element discharge is in axe mode by pressing triangle and circle at the same time. What I tend to do is while my weapon is sheathed and I see an opening, I attack immediately into axe mode by pressing R2 while moving. Then hitting triangle and circle at the same time to do the amped element discharge. I'll demonstrate it here. Next, let's talk about the Phials. While in sword mode, you can charge up the Phials by hitting the monster in sword mode. The move that fills up the Phials the quickest is the charged rising slash. That move can be done by holding down circle in sword mode. When you hear a glass breaking noise, that is when you want to let go of the charge. Once your Phials are red in the top left, you can go ahead and fill up your Phials. I'll go ahead and show you guys here. You'll notice the Phials turn yellow and then red when they are charged up. Important note here is that when your Phials are glowing red, your attacks will bounce off the monster. Remember to fill your Phials up whenever you see that. Sometimes when I'm in the heat of battle, I don't notice it in the top left. So if you're bouncing off the monster a lot, or you notice that your sword is glowing red, fill your Phials. I'll show you guys here. Now notice in the top left, the Phials are glowing red, and the sword is glowing red. Remember your attacks will bounce off the monster. I'm not sure what they call this, but let's call this an overcharged state. Next, let's talk about actually filling your Phials. This is done by holding R2 and pressing circle, or hitting those 2 buttons at the same time. Once you've done this, while the Phials are red or glowing, the Phials will fill up in the top left. Once you have the Phials filled, next you will want to power up your shield by hitting R2 during amped element discharge. Once your shield is glowing in the top left, you now have access to the super amped element discharge, the charge blade's strongest move. In order to get the most out of this move, you'll want to have the Phials filled up as well. This is a slow attack, so try to make it a priority to do this move on downed monsters. So remember, power up your shield and fill up the Phials, then do super amped element discharge. Next, I wanted to talk about powering up your sword. This move is called condensed element slash. This can be done once you have your shield powered up. Hit R2 and circle at the same time, then hold down triangle. Wait until the sword sinks in all the way into the shield before letting go of triangle. Once you have the sword powered up, it will add a little extra damage to all of your sword attacks. Next, I want to talk about strategy for this weapon. I think the strategy for this weapon will be to charge your shield as soon as possible and filling up the Phials. This will give you access to the super amped element discharge. It's kind of a slow attack as I mentioned before, so wait for a really big opening. The shield has to be powered up to do this move, and having the Phials stored will create the shockwave, which is basically extra damage. Last, I wanted to talk about closing the gap on monsters. The first move in the triangle circle combo can help you close the gap. Also, after the first hit, moving the analog in a direction and pressing circle can also help you close the gap or slide around the monster. While in X mode, moving the analog in a direction and hitting triangle can also help you close the gap. This is one of my favorite things to do because you can just hit triangle and circle at the same time to let out the super amped element discharge. Alright folks, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!